Good morning. Mayang buntag, mayang hapon, mayang gabi, no matter where you are in the world. That we're still waiting for Cindy. She's running a little bit later than I am even. But in the meantime, I'm going to go out and I'm going to send out a couple of invites. That not a whole lot's been going on. Mama, Papa did finally get to the Manila. Papa was immensely happy that he didn't have to do the PCR test. That he was very worried about that. I guess that they're going to be able to. The other thing he was kind of worried about, and I don't blame him, is that he was concerned that the restrictions were going to be heavy enough that he wasn't going to be able to go outside at all. Good morning, Daniel. Yeah, that's one of the hazards of being a truck driver is you don't know what time zone you're in. Really, I was thinking it was just the headphones. I've got a mic set up. I'm going to see if I can do this and show it a little bit better. That I've got a mic set up and a sound card set up. And it unfortunately is appearing to be stereotypical Filipino quality. There we go. I need to put some tape or something on that. On the desk so I know where my tripod goes. That, yeah, I was thinking it was just the headphones because the headset I've got. The headset that I've got is going out. And I was thinking it was the headset. So apparently it's not just the headset. That Cindy and I did a practice session yesterday just before the video chat that we did, the Zoom meeting we did. And it seemed to come out okay. And I've done a couple of recordings with this microphone. And it was seeming to be okay. But yeah. I'll check the connections again after this to double ensure that it's not just the connections. Here she is. All 22 weeks of her.
22 weeks. Let's see if I can hear.
That yeah, they're saying that there's a
Okay.
Yeah, she's doing the sound check, and
Is it because of this?
I'm not sure. We're gonna have to play with it afterwards and find out. Oh, hey Dan. Dan recommended honey on your finger for your burn.
Okay.
That's supposed to be really good for it.
Sige.
My bad, I completely forgot.
I'll put it now after me.
And we've got a big jar of honey downstairs for it too.
Because I put cream, but it's still.
Have we got any of that burn cream, or is that in Cebuga?
I have another cream in there.
Okay.
The antibacterial cream, but it's not burn cream. I just use them.
I don't know if it would work, but I'm tempted to try something. If it starts getting too bad, you can let me know, and I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's static, John.
All right, she's saying, yeah, it is kind of bad. So I'm going to give this a shot. You'll have to let me know if this is actually working.
Remove that one. Remove that one. You get so much accessory.
You're going to lose. Did that help or clear up anything? Or can you hear me at all?
There's an echo.
That yeah, I don't like the sound quality of this mic unmodified, and that's why the car
Can you
that I
turn
can
it
adjust
off?
some levels.
Okay.
Yeah, that like I said, the mic is a cheap mic.
Okay.
And it's stereotypical microphone that we got from Lazada. It's not a
Are you
great
going
one.
more? Can you pull the mic a little closer to you? I like our.
There we go. Yeah, it just winds up in the picture at that point. So
Okay, that's better now.
I've got a different mic.
Because we played this yesterday.
I've got a different mic that I may actually try to use in place of this one. Because, yeah, this one just isn't cutting it terribly well at all. And I'm not sure if it would be worth getting a much better mic to do this setup. But even if I use a better mic with the sound card, it will at least tell me if it's the sound card or the mic that's giving me issues. That the mic I've got is is more for a camera, but it works pretty well. And it's a shotgun mic, so it points towards you and picks up sounds pretty well. That the built-in microphone on the camera is not too bad. And I may wind up having to just go back to that. That
You have a mic
this
before.
is a similar setup to what I've got back in the States.
Daniel said, have you thought about those mics that click on your shirt? We have those before.
I have. I've actually got those. The lavalier mics that you're talking about. That they're actually really good. I've got a couple different setups. I've even got a Rode Wireless mic, Rode Wireless Go that I used a lot with the GoPro before the adapter died on me, and it worked really well. But the adapter died, and it kind of fell to the wayside ever since. Uh, there was a friend of ours back in Phoenix that I would go record and edit her sermons, and I used it a lot with that. That it works really well with a camera. But the camera is is a lot bulkier than the GoPros, and the GoPros take almost as good of video as the camera that I've got, the DSLR that I've got just a Rebel T6i.
So, update for Papa's and Mama travel to Manila. Good news.
They made it.
They don't. It's just like going into the mall. Scan the QR and then they present their flight confirmation and they're good. They check in their baggage and no swab test, no quarantine, and ching! Papa was so
Cool.
excited.
That gives me hope. And things are slowly starting to open here.
Yeah.
Definitely not as quick as I would like. I was thinking uh, probably by June, July, things are going to be open. I'm thinking probably closer to August, September.
It's just weird because in the website, it's not updated yet. In the website, it still shows, oh, you need to upload trace app, ESPA, so on and so forth. And then when you arrive in Manila, you need to do the swab test,
Hmm.
which costs you 900 pesos. That's in the website as of June 17th, so on and so forth. Not just for locals.
The Philippines is opening a lot for locals.
Yeah. Because
The
normally when
domestic travel is opening a lot.
because for normally if you go to different island, they want you to do swab tests. But with mama and papa traveling yesterday,
Yeah, that up until this point, that it wasn't at all uncommon if you did inter-island traveling to need to do swab test and/or quarantine.
yeah,
But here in the last few weeks, that's relaxed quite a bit.
yeah, because Juju came back with no problem from
Uh,
Cagayan de Oro to here.
yeah, because I was actually supposed to go down to Butuan and do an MRI. They have an open MRI down in Butuan that was supposed to go to that a couple weeks ago, and that another friend of ours that he shows up periodically, filling some Joe. Andy was saying that Butuan was back down to
They should be
the
finished.
extreme quarantine thing, and
They're
you had
good.
those color coded passes again and all that fun stuff. So
I think they already just finished it.
I may ask him if it's open, if they're starting to open it back up again.
So yeah, I'm just happy because Papa was so worried about the quarantine and the
Yeah,
swab
he
test.
hates those swab tests
He
to the
doesn't
point
know.
where I am surprised he went.
Because I told him, Papa, you're good, you're okay. When
Uh,
I tell him, he just like, okay, I trust you. He just don't. I'm his favorite, so
that
you can tell. Not for tourists yet. Cagayan de Oro was in lockdown till 26, 25. You're right. But that's what my brother said. But when he came back here,
did he come back after the 26th, 25th though?
yeah, he came back after the 25th. He came back after the 25th
And he was also there for
for
training
training,
for
marine engineering.
legit purposes or whatever.
Depending on how you talk, the U.S. is open up. I don't know what happened in June, but all of a sudden, no mass mandates when they started those car signs down for people in June.
That yeah, we've got some friends that are
Yeah, my friend says they when Mama and Papa was on the way here to the city, they said, "Are you going back to the U.S.? There's no COVID already in the U.S. because they removed the mask mandate." And then Mama was laughing, "No, we're not going to the U.S. We're going to Cebu City and then Manila." Oh, David said my wife's family is from there again.
that yeah, that we, like I say, that I was supposed to go down to CD or not CDO, Butuan, which is a few hours east of
Okay, and
Cagayan. It's a few hours away. I don't know if it's east, north, south,
two,
west.
2 or 3 hours.
But you can get both flights and ferries directly to
I would say it's a lot easier in airplane though, comparing the
on a ferry.
yeah.
The biggest reason for me for ferry would be that way I could take Sunshine with me
Or Rusi.
or Rusi.
You're right.
Yeah, because it would be just me going. Rusi would work just perfectly fine.
But that would be real killing your back because if it's a long drive, you're starting to see here in some parts of Canada.
There's a lot of places that are starting to reopen way more than way quickly, very very quickly. And I'm not. It's lending credence to that this was more manufactured than anything else.
Mm-mm.
But there again, a few years back with that swine flu, the way they ended that is they just stopped testing for it. I could see that happening here in the near future with this COVID is that they're just going to stop testing for it.
Yeah. Steven said, "How has Sunshine been running?"
Sunshine is a surplus vehicle, and that is unquestionable. That said, since we got it back, in a matter of fact, I'm going to get with Cindy in this week or next. I'm going to try and do a bunch of B-roll footage to do a review of Sunshine. We've been trying to get with a mechanic that did it, and that's just going to have to come down to a later date, later down the road.
Is Kenya famous for the outbreak of pig limestone? No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it. It's
that one has been kind of taking a page 3 because of the COVID.
but for the pig
But
swine.
the that swine flu,
Mm-mm.
the one that affects the pigs and not people, it has been running rampant through here.
Wow. Did you check out the Philippine info channel?
No, we were actually kind of busy yesterday with everything going on, and I'll have to be honest, I didn't have the chance. Today, we're supposed to, emphasis on supposed to, go down and pick up a toaster that came in, that we bought one, and it instantly died.
It's real.
Yeah, it would go down, but when it pop up, it wouldn't shut back off. You'd have to sit there and play with it. And so we wound up taking it back, and they got one in yesterday, but we just didn't have the time. And by the time we got back, she wasn't feeling well. And
I'm
yeah,
tired.
yesterday didn't work out terribly well, but we're supposed to go pick that up today, drop off laundry, come back, let you take a nap and rest, and then go down to 138 Mall. Part of what went on yesterday coming back is it's warm. And this is along with Sunshine, that the AC in Sunshine is working. It's working okay, but it's a cab over model that you're sitting on top of the engine. And the heat shielding just isn't there anymore, whether it never was, whether for whatever reason, the heat shielding just isn't there. So you got all that engine heat coming up through, and the AC just can't keep up with it in this humid of weather. So it's hot. You know, with the windows down, it's not bad. With the windows down and moving, it's okay. With the, even with the windows down, sitting in traffic, it can get miserable quick.
You have to.
Cindy broke a rice cooker in the U.S. in the first 6 months. She overused it, literally. She worked the poor thing to death within 6 months.
We wouldn't learn our lesson. We don't know because I told you before, when you cook rice, you need to let it dry, wipe up the, winding up. It's still water and put it in. That's why it causes.
But yeah, it's hot. If we were having the Balikbayan box sent, I probably would have had my buddy put a couple $100 worth of heat shielding in that box, and I would have ran it down to Adrian and had Adrian and I go through and install heat shielding throughout that.
I guess the lessons learned on that Sunshine is we were into rush buying it, and
What we needed, we needed a vehicle.
yeah.
We needed a vehicle kind of quick, and we bought it. And part of it is my bad for not going through it better. And there were some things that were obvious enough. I should have seen them, and we didn't. But yeah, we bought it. And the biggest takeaway for me, at least, if you want to buy one, they're not a bad, inexpensive vehicle. If you keep in mind they're a surplus vehicle.
But we would not recommend it for.
But buy it from a builder that you can have custom built and accept that it's going to take, anywhere from 3 to 6 months to be built. Uh,
I like it. I like this is our Philippine Steve said. Kuya Steve says talking about smoke butts. It's
didn't you build a cooker to do that out here?
that's why I don't really like sometimes the traveling because it's exhausting and with
When you're sitting in a sauna, it can be.
yeah like around 11, 12, 1, 2. That's why it started to get sweating and it's exhausting and my energy is draining and that's why I start grumpy, being grumpy.
And we'll probably look for something to some fans or something like that to put in there to help. Uh, because the other thing too is, and this is something as well. If pretty much everybody on here was here yesterday, so it's not a big secret at this point. But when we come back for the permanent, we'll probably get a different
Vehicle.
minivan type vehicle, SUV type vehicle.
Mm-mm.
But in the meantime, Sunshine's going to be great, and Sunshine's type of vehicle that I won't mind leaving it for 8, 10 months without direct supervision.
Yeah.
And by saying that we'll probably loan it to the brother-in-law or have some friends of ours keep an eye on it and use it. But I'm fairly picky about maintenance and uh, just things done on my vehicles. And we won't be here to supervise that. And that's kind of leaving me a little bit hedgy and why we wouldn't look at picking one up before we move back permanent.
Mm-mm.
But after we do that, don't get me wrong. I got nothing wrong with these multi-cabs. They are a great, inexpensive, economical vehicle. I've seen some of that. I've heard some mixed reviews. Some really say it works really great. Some are saying that, yeah, not so great. Uh, Bud Brown got some and did it on a roof. The one of the trikes that he had, and other than he installed it backwards, he said it worked pretty good. So yeah, there's some definite workarounds that I'm thinking we could do if we really wanted to. Um, I haven't completely taken it off the table. In our particular situation, yes, we do. And Sunshine has been worth its weight in gold in too many ways and in too many times. Especially going back and forth from Sabunga to Cebu. Uh, that either you're stuck on a bus, which is fairly inexpensive, or you're paying a V hire or something like that, which is way quicker and easier, but a lot more expensive. So in that respect, Sunshine's been worth its weight in gold. There's been a bunch of trips that we've made independently and with family that Sunshine has came in, indispensable. So in our particular situation, yes, that we did kind of need a transportation.
Yeah, because the first 2 months when Papa has medical issue, we need to come back here in Cebu City like almost every you know, I had to drive there because I feel like I have a target on my back. The buses will be really cheap.
That with my back issues, sitting on a bus in those bus seats, that it bothers badly. And I've done it. I can do it. Coming from Sabunga to Cebu, I'll normally jump off early and like at the SMC side or something like that, and just cab the rest of the way that I need to. And also by jumping off at SMC side, it allows me to walk around and get stretched out a little bit. Uh, but yeah, the buses are hard on my back. Well, you also drive in a much different area than most of us.
Steve.
Yeah, being up in Cagayan, so far removed that you're not dealing with a lot of the Cebu traffic. But I would imagine you still do have some pretty bad traffic,
Different kind
for
of traffic.
provinces, and you probably get a lot more of the one lane roads, like the road going down to Argao, that they'll shut down half the road for a mile or more and let traffic back up. Uh 3 on a bike, yeah, no.
For you, no.
I was teasing my brother-in-law that you're welcome to use the bike, but it's only got foot pegs for 2 people, no more than 2 people on it. That and no livestock.
No pigs or goats or chickens. You cannot. If you're not there, they will put the goat in it.
I'm not sure.
Oh, Daniel said, how much heat shield would you need?
Daniel, I'm not exactly sure. I'd need to get under there and get a little bit better idea. Uh, or have Adrian give me a ballpark on how many square meters I'd need. I'm thinking probably 4 or 6 square meters would be more than enough. That yeah, I've seen some of these that are. Yeah, I'd love to get up to Luzon on a bike and take some of those bike roads, or I'll take some of the roads. I've done by Pampanga and went up to Mexico.
Mexico, Pampanga.
Oh, that's still in Pampanga? I thought that was Pangasinan.
I don't know. Check Google. I'm the
Did,
referential.
But yeah, I went up in that area. But yeah, I haven't tried Manila yet. You're one up on me on Manila, and I'm not sure. I would if I had to, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think I'd do it otherwise.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That had to have been a picture. Yeah, I've seen some. Even here in Cebu, where they've got the what do they call those? The scooters for hire.
Habal-habal?
Oh, I thought they were calling them something different, the motors or whatever. But yeah, I've seen some of those guys doing the scooters for hire with 3, 4, 5 people on one, and that just that no that I
My grandma and Sammy in habal-habal, hapil, hapil, habal-habal. Let's habal-habal already.
that yeah I yeah no I no I couldn't do that. That even with Cindy pregnant, I don't like I haven't put her on a bike yet.
They stick a board out the back to get more people. Yeah.
That yeah that Kulas that Becoming Filipino has shown some in areas where they had an actual basically luggage rack extended to fit an extra 3, 4 people on those stupid things.
Yeah.
They did. They fit the entire Fighter Boys crew
Yeah.
on one time just to do it and get some video of it.
Yeah. Command of Myth Legend.
That
You should go all together and take a video of that.
uh, yeah, that the stuff they put on scooters out here is insane. We saw one the other day, and I wasn't able to break out a camera quick enough. That they were on a scooter, and somebody had and was balancing another scooter in between the driver and him. My thought was, why don't you just hook a freaking rope to it and tow it along? But obviously there must have been a reason. But you'll frequently, especially going on a lot of these hills, you'll frequently see them taking, carrying bicycles, people with bicycles up the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's her brother came back with a goat and a pig,
Mm-mm.
both on a scooter one day, just before a fiesta. I got a picture of one. Did I get a picture of that?
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can find that. I may have posted it to our Facebook page. But yeah,
And plants.
yeah, he's always bringing plants and stuff back from the mountains in a scooter. He can't drive. He doesn't drive. I don't know if he can, but he doesn't drive.
Drives, but he just don't comfortable.
But
He has a lot of people to do it.
he does. He has a ton of people that are in way more comfortable driving than he is.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that he's always coming back down the mountain with plants and chickens and
Goats.
well, mainly roosters, but yeah, that the occasional goat and pig. Her and I have talked about my fidget spinner. Her and I have talked about loaning Sunshine to him when we leave, but are a tad bit hedgy. That he's pretty good. He's pretty good about respecting the limits we put on stuff. But I don't know. We may give it to our mechanic guy and just let him hang on to Sunshine, and that way he can use it, and we know it'll be taken care of.
David said, I've seen a guy with a fridge in the back of his. And then his dude said, I carried a tree on mine. It was between me and the handlebars while it was hanging in the back front.
Yeah, that they get some mind blowing things.
Yeah. No Filipino lumberjack, do you?
That there was one that and this was a few years back. Those trikes that are set up as a cargo trike. Rike got this in right after he went to Dumagetti. That they had an I beam, a steel I beam that it looked to be an 8-10 inch I beam. That it was a pretty healthy I beam. That it took like 9 or 10 people to pick it up and put it on the scooter on the trike, and somehow that guy managed to freaking take off with that thing. Yeah, just when you think you've seen it all, that you'll see something that still amazes you here. Amazing Philippines is an appropriate video channel title. It can get mind bending at times. Maoni sa Pilipinas. That yeah, this is the Philippines. Yeah, Papa taught me that expression quick.
I'm not sure if I got a video at the very end.
And I've done a lot of things here that I would have never thought of doing in the U.S. That I would have never considered it. Not that I would have never thought of it. Quite a few of them I actually have thought of. But dismissed it because of just that's not how things are done here. Give it a shot. Uh, and that's just it. A lot of it is, that and this is actually something that I really do admire about Philippines and the Filipinos in general, is that a lot of it is just they know what they need to get done, they know what they have, and they just figure out a way to get accomplished what they need to do with what they've got. That they don't look at, well, I can't do this because I haven't got this or that, or I got to go run to the town and get it, and that they know that this is what we got, this is what we need to get done. How do we do it, and then figure it out. That this is our Philippines. I know that you growing up where you did, that there were a lot of times you needed to get hay in. You figured out how to make that belt, how to make a jury rig a belt to get it done and get it in. And that spirit has been lost in the U.S. for the most part. Here, it's still common every day, and part of society. That, yeah, Daniel, yeah, I have seen some of the tools that they make, and a lot of it is really cool, and it does help. But a lot of it, they've done it that way for so long that it's hard for them to see a better way of doing it. And yeah, that they redneck engineering is alive and well here. That when he was saying that they've got a way to do that, the mechanic, and I had a talk with him that back in the U.S. that'd be redneck engineering used to be real common, and he asked what that was, and I kind of explained to him what redneck was, and then what redneck engineering was. Just kind of the idea of these old farmers that they needed to get stuff done, and they didn't make the run to town, that they figured out how to get it done. And some of the patches lasted until the job was done. Some of the patches lasted for a year. And that the Filipinos are amazing at getting things done. It may not be the best possible job, but it's an acceptable job, and it will get through what they need to get through. And they accept that a lot of these things are kind of transient, and that the next hurricane that comes through is probably going to level everything, and we're going to have to start from scratch. And so a lot of things that we would expect should have more permanence don't. And so they're not necessarily looking for a permanent fix with that mentality. The hammer that Papa was using for so long, what was literally a piece of rebar welded to a hammerhead. And he'd beat at it after a while and have to straighten the handle. He had another one that was a little bit heavier sledge. It was a piece of water pipe that he welded it to. We got Papa a hammer. We got Papa's the steel shaft hammers that the hammer and head were all one piece. He was immensely happy, and that he did use. But yeah, that they just use what they have, and if it breaks, they figure out how to make it work. He's got a hoe that is some bamboo, and it's got the hoe head to it, but it's got the handle must have broke or never was there, And he's got some bamboo and he's got some lashing and roping and he periodically has to stop and reattach everything, but it works. And it there was uh, a gardening tool. I don't know what the name of it is. It's got a rather flat head, a handle in the center. It's got almost like a trowel that you can poke with it. It's a real pointed but wide sheath, and then it's got the 3 fingers that you can use like a spade on this end. I don't know what you'd call it. And Papa was saying that, yeah, that instead of buying that, go down to the public market in Cibola and pick them up for 50, 60 pesos. It's the same exact thing. Just homemade. Yeah, because this is our Philippines. Your area gets hit a lot. What's that main island? That big island everybody goes to up there? That popular island?
Batanes?
Batanes? An island right by Batanes, or it might be Batanes, is considered the place with more hurricane landfalls per year than anywhere else in the world. But yeah, that because of stuff like that a lot of that they don't. They've got a much different mentality on permanence here. People are permanent. Friends are permanent. Families are permanent. A building will last until the next hurricane or earthquake or whatever. Do you have tsunamis here?
I didn't hear so far.
Okay, you got every other kind of flooding, just not that particular type. But it's great to see people like that, and I really, and this is part of what, in my humble opinion, part of I think what attracts so many, especially older expats to the Philippines, is crap like that used to be common in the States. I'm certain it was common in Canada and New Zealand at one point. That people did what you needed to do. And somewhere along the lines in the U.S., it's been lost. Well, we can't do that. I need to, it's going to be 2 weeks before I can get to it because I got to order parts and they got to come in and instead of figuring out how to make it work. That when I was in high school, we were bringing in some hay and there was a thunderstorm coming in. We had to get it in quick, and a V-belt broke. And we were sitting there. We tried just tying some baling twine to it as tight as we possibly could. And it wasn't holding up, and it would slip and it would break. And somebody suggested using duct tape, and we said that wouldn't work because duct tape would be okay, but it'd tear. And so we came up with the idea of doing both, using the baling twine, and we got that to the right diameter that we needed, and then took like 3 layers of duct tape and just stuck it on so that it made it a little bit stickier to be pulled by the belt versus just slipping. And it worked. It got us through the few hours we needed to get through to finish out the day. And by the time the guy that we sent to get it came back, we were done, but we were able to put the belt on for the next day. No, Daniel, you're right. That there's no repairs to things in the West, but here they'll tear apart things that shouldn't be torn apart to fix them, and it's a spirit that we've lost, and it's too bad. That's Yeah, between baling twine and duct tape, if it couldn't be fixed, it wasn't worth fixing. And some of the patches that we came up with to get through a day, and in that respect, it was just that more often than not, it was just to get through a day. But some of the patches that you made lasted for a considerable length of time. But it definitely bought you enough time to get the part and have it on hand for when it finally did break. But we've actually been on this about 40 minutes now, and we do have a bunch of stuff to get done, and hopefully we're going to be able to make it to the 138 Mall and the scuba shop today. If not, there's always tomorrow. And that's the other thing here is there's never a rush on things. And the laid backness to this place is a big thing that I love. That's the one thing I didn't bring with me is duct tape. I did manage to find WD-40 here, and I'm thinking I probably could find some duct tape, but no. But if you've noticed her expression in the background, I think I'm starting to lose her.
No, just moral support.
It's
It's more of a guy's topic.
yeah.
Too, so
That the mechanics at work used to love me.
used to love you. No, he hates you.
Oh no, I moved on to different companies. The mechanics at the Ready Mix company that I work for, the materials company I work for, because in the entire time I was there, I only had to have a truck towed in twice. The rest of the time, I'd figure out a way to, I'd quietly get there okay, let them know what I was doing, and get there okay, and just limp it back into the shop so that they were able to fix it there versus having to break a mechanic away and take out what they think they might need and all this good garbage. And that it would periodically tick off other drivers because I would do that for them. A lot of times they would break away from what they were doing, come over, do the repair correctly, put in the correct part, and get me kicked out of there quick. But there again, because I had it stabilized, they were able to get to it and do a 5-minute repair versus having to do major issues. Yeah, that's the one thing about these, especially these in the office room like this, is that these topics can cover, that these live streams can cover pretty much any imaginable topic. Yesterday's Zoom call, because of being a Zoom call and able to talk a little bit easier and not having to worry about analytics and demonetization and all that good stuff. We actually had a pretty cool discussion about immigration, and it was a really neat discussion. I was really glad we were able to do that. I'm talking with Cindy that more than likely, but not 100%, more than likely we're going to do a subscription in her name so that way she'll have use of it to do her stuff and not have an issue. But speaking of going, that we do need to get going and begin our day because we got to drop laundry, pick up a toaster, get you some rest. And then if we can, we need to get down to 138 Mall to get a fan and cooler. We still want to and are kind of real lightly, tentatively planning on going to Bentayan, but it's probably going to take a week trip to do it because we're probably going to want to break it into halfway up, taking a rest for the day, get the rest of the way, take a couple days up there, and then do the same thing on the way back.
We still said our roadside service. I can tell them exactly what I need. I always have pictures for any issues.
Make the yeah, this is our Philippines. Mechanics love that. It makes their life way freaking simpler. Other than, it's broke, come fix it.
But
But for
we
today,
thank you and appreciate you for
we
watching.
really appreciate everybody that does show up and support this channel and these live streams like that. I am going to start getting to be a lot more video.
Don't promise. Just
And
don't promise.
today-
You get
Tomorrow's is going to be a talking head. If there's any topics that you guys would like Cindy and I to talk about, let me know. But for now, mabuhay.